So, we've all seen Lemuel Gulliver as a giant among the tiny Lilliputians, right? But what happens when the tables are completely turned? We're diving into his next journey to Brobdingnag, and this is the land of giants, where a single wrong step could literally be his last. But this story isn't just about being big or small, oh no. It's a really powerful look at perspective, humanity, and what power actually means.
Just think about that shift for a second. In Lilliput, his size made him a weapon, a person of incredible, almost godlike power. But here in Brobdingnag, all of that is gone. Poof! He's no longer the giant. He's a novelty, a little curiosity, a tiny creature in a world that wasn't built for him at all. It is a complete, and you have to imagine, incredibly humbling reversal of fortune.
All right, let's put ourselves in Gulliver's shoes for his first few moments in this towering new world. I mean, forget everything you think you know about scale. Here, a blade of grass is like a tree. A common housefly sounds like a drone buzzing overhead. It's a world filled with awe and wonder for sure, but it's also a world of profound and constant danger.
And that feeling? It's captured perfectly in his own words. I've never seen the world so immense. That's not just him noticing things are big. It's this deep, soul-crushing realization. Everything he thought he knew about his place in the universe is just shattered. He's forced to see everything, including himself, from a completely new, miniature point of view. But, amidst all this terrifying new scale, there's a little glimmer of hope. These are the words of Glumdalclitch, the farmer's young daughter who finds him. And her simple, protective kindness, well, it provides the very first moment of safety Gulliver has felt. It's pretty incredible, right? In a world of giants, his first real protector is a child.
That initial safety, though, it's fragile. Gulliver's existence quickly shifts from being a personal curiosity for one family to becoming a public spectacle. He's about to become a commodity, an object of entertainment for the masses, and this is where things start to get dark.
And just listen to the farmer's perspective here. He isn't portrayed as some evil villain. He's just pragmatic. He sees Gulliver not as a person, but as an asset. He eats little, draws many eyes. You can just hear the cold calculation. This is the moment Gulliver's humanity is first stripped away for the sake of his monetary value. It's a pretty sharp critique of how easily we can turn living things into products. And this leads to his public exhibition. I mean, can you imagine being put on a stage for giants? Your every move watched by these enormous faces. The initial wonder of the crowd is one thing, but it sours so quickly. Someone drops a giant coin, nearly crushing him, and the crowd's gasp of shock turns it to roaring laughter. It's a thoughtless kind of cruelty, born from seeing him as a thing, not a person.
Gulliver himself gets it. He knows exactly what's happening. The awe he inspires makes him a show, and being a show makes him vulnerable to the whims of an audience that just doesn't see his fear. This is, without a doubt, his emotional low point, the ultimate dehumanization.
But just as he hits rock bottom, the whole narrative turns. This part of the story is all about the power of empathy, where a few key relationships start to push back against his objectification and actually affirm his personhood. They basically save him from a life of exploitation.
And it all starts with Glumdalclitch. Her fierce loyalty is a direct challenge to her father's business plan. Just look at her words. No, sell, my man, my friend. She's not protecting a pet or a toy. She is declaring his personhood and their bond. It's such a simple but incredibly powerful act of empathy.
And Gulliver himself puts this contrast so beautifully. Under Glumdalclitch's protection, he's no longer a weapon or a spectacle. He becomes a student, learning their language and their ways. Her kindness creates this safe space, a shelter where he can be a person again, not just some weird oddity. The turning point becomes official when the highest authority in the land steps in. The king's intervention is so rational and so humane. He doesn't see a toy or an oddity. He sees a thinking, reasoning being. And his decree, it elevates Gulliver's status for good, placing him under royal protection and officially ending his time as a public spectacle. So now that Gulliver is safe, the story shifts gears. It's no longer about physical survival. Now it's about intellectual discovery. As a member of the court, he's able to have these deep, philosophical conversations that will once again completely change his perspective, only this time it's about his own world. And the king poses this incredibly profound question to Gulliver. It's a direct challenge, really forcing him to look critically at the politics, the wars, the pride of his own people.
Through the king, the story is basically asking all of us a timeless question. What do you do with power? Does it make you wise, or does it just make you a bigger fool?
Gulliver's reply is so simple, but it's somber and honest and just filled with this newfound wisdom. After seeing the petty squabbles of Lilliput and now the calm reason of Brobdingnag, he can't just boast about his own society anymore. He has to acknowledge its deep and often tragic contradictions.
And the contrast he sees now is just stark. On one side, you've got his world, constant conflict, pride, machines built only for destruction. And on the other, you have the giant's world, defined by peace, reason, kindness, and this constructive, colossal architecture. The physical scale of the giants is actually matched by their moral and philosophical scale, which is, of course, a direct satirical hit on the supposed sophistication of Europe at the time.
This right here is the ultimate lesson of Brobdingnag delivered by the king himself. Moral stature has absolutely nothing to do with physical size. It's a powerful summary of everything Gulliver has learned. True greatness isn't measured by your height or your power, but by your wisdom and your kindness.
But the story doesn't just end with this peaceful, happy lesson. Even inside the sanctuary of the king's court, a new threat starts to emerge, reminding Gulliver, and us, that being fundamentally different always carries a risk. Safety, it seems, can be a total illusion. He spots a banner on a traveling show cart, and the words on it must have sent a chill right down his spine. Wonders of the world, exotic beings and rare marvels. It's this ominous echo of his recent past. It's a reminder that to the world outside the palace, he is still an object, something to be captured, owned, and put on display. That threat of exploitation is always lurking just around the corner.
And this brings us to Gulliver's final, chilling realization. He found a safe haven, yeah, but he understands now that it's an exception, not the rule. His otherness, the very thing that makes him unique, is also the thing that makes him a perpetual target.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering question. Gulliver found protection through the kindness of a few powerful people. But what about everyone else who's different? It's a thought that sticks with you long after the story ends, forcing you to think about how fragile acceptance and safety really are, in a world that's often fascinated by, but also very wary of, the things it doesn't quite understand.